And we are live, and I feel like I forgot how we do this.
I know. How long has it been? Just 2 weeks?
Well, we didn't. It's just as late this week. We didn't record last week, and then we recorded on Wednesday the week before.
Yeah, you guys, I have crawled out of my hole of COVID.
Yes. Amanda and I haven't seen each other in over 2 weeks.
I got very sick. Like, very sick. I swear I was dying. I don't know.
Your whole family got sick. You got the worst of it, but everyone was just down and out.
Leo and I definitely got the worst of it. Johan had it bad for like 2 days, but Leo and I, we were down and out for a while.
I was thinking about that, and I feel like it's because Johan is probably around a lot of people at work. Because I have a really good immune system because I deal with the public.
Right.
Because I'm just like licking dollar bills all day long.
Yeah, and I just am not around a lot of people as much as I used to be. And
so we apologize for the little wacky schedule, but it's summer break. Give us a freaking break.
Yeah.
You're getting the content.
And we're here with a late book review too.
Yeah, and honestly, like your sickness couldn't have come at a better time to like really give us
we really. I was pulling into Danielle's driveway today, finishing the book.
Amanda had to switch to the audiobook also.
Yeah, because I couldn't even focus on reading a page when I was sick. Like, not at all. And then I didn't even listen to the audiobook when I was sick either. I didn't get the audiobook until after. Yeah. And I was only...
Like, not even a week ago.
I was like, and I was on page like 40 when I got the audiobook.
Wow.
So I had to listen to the whole book in a week. And that's a 22-hour long audiobook. But I had it sped up, dude.
I asked Akio, I was like, guess how long the audiobook is? And he was like, I don't know, 5 hours. And I was like, try 22 hours, dude.
I had it sped up to, what was it? When I pulled into your driveway, 2.4. Like, I had to just, I could, and what was weird is I could comprehend. Like, I tried 2.6, way too fast. 2.4 was just enough.
Okay.
But there was some dialogue. Like,
Sophie.
There's a puppy.
Yeah. We're in my house.
We didn't even address the
new
Sophie. Background.
Come here.
Yeah, we're definitely not at my house today.
And we have Sophie, my dog. She will probably jump up on the couch at some point, but she's just roaming around.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. What were you saying about
there was a little bit of dialogue that was getting a little lost towards the end, and it was like the professor, or the dean. But other than that, like everything else I could.
Yeah. Was it a good narrator?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Yeah, the voices were good, and I think it was only there's a bird out the window. I think there was only one.
Remember when we went to Portland and I was telling you about the birds hitting the windows? Yeah. It's a real thing. You'll see that in our. Good. Oh no, you won't see it in our vlog. Yeah. I was talking about the birds hitting the windows on our Portland trip.
But anyways, we'll get more into that book.
Yeah. So I loved this book.
Do we want to talk about other stuff first? The next month's book, or are we trying to get right into this?
Do you want to get in, and then we can announce that at the end?
Yeah. And do we want to talk about any reading updates other than, or is this?
This is it.
Okay.
This was hard enough, bitch. You expect me to read other books on top of it? Well, you were listening to this, so you had the
Yeah, and I was only listening to this when I was working on books or when I was putting Leo to bed and nap trapped stuck. But before bed, I still always read on my Kindle.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't about to buy 3 versions of this book, so I was like, audio and physical, I'm good.
Yeah. No, I don't have any reading updates other than this one, because this one, the font was so small, the spacing was so small, but Amanda came over and she was like, your book is fucking wrecked.
It is beat up. This thing looks like it's been through some things.
So do you want to hear about the things it's been through? Okay. Yeah. So first of all, the first quarter of the book, maybe even a little bit less, you probably can't really see it, but it's all wrinkly.
Yeah.
That's because that part of the book I was reading in the pool.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have the little lines down there spit water out. And so if I got into one corner, it would just be spitting water. So that's why that's all wrinkled.
A lot of my books will have water damage too, because I'll read them while Leo's taking a bath.
Oh,
and he's splashing around.
Yes. This tear, I'm not sure what this tear happened from. I think it's because every day when I go to work, I put it in my bag. And I think it must have ripped a little. And then I went camping this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I went camping this weekend, and it was really windy on Saturday. This was sitting in my chair, and all of a sudden, my chair blew into the fire.
Like, even your spine is all rubbed raw, probably from sitting in your bag.
Probably from sitting in my bag, yeah.
I love it.
But my chair and my book went flying into the fire.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So then my book was in the freaking fire, which I just only got like in the holes. Yeah. So yeah, this thing has been through water, fire, earth.
If any book is gonna be beat up, it should be The Secret History.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't. Do you want to talk about your reading update?
I'm just reading 2 other books. So ebook, I'm reading the 3rd book in the Chestnut Spring series. I think it's called Heartless. Powerless. Yeah, this is a hockey romance. It's about a hockey player.
Aren't you reading Powerful?
Yeah, right. Okay, so
there's 2. Is there 2 Powerless?
Yeah, so there's Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and then there's Powerful, which is the novella, and now they just
Sophie Sneezing.
They just came out with Reckless, which is another Elsie Silver book. So people are actually like upset about the fact that she is taking the same names as another really popular.
That's confusing that you're reading because you're still reading.
No, I finished Powerless.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I finished Powerless, and I finished
Was it amazing?
It was good. I really liked it.
You seem a little anticlimactic about that.
No, it was really good. I have mixed feelings because I don't like that it's so much like Hunger Games. Like, it is a lot like Hunger Games. But I love the main characters enough to want to continue the series.
Kind of funny she's not getting a bunch of flack for that. You'd think people would be like at her throat for making a book.
I know, people
like that.
love it. And she gets a lot of hate, actually, because she
is Nikki.
She's the one that liked AI. That will repost AI pictures, and people just like hate her.
So she's already canceled for other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And then I finished the 2nd book in the series. So I finished 2 in the last week.
Nice.
No.
A 3rd today.
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
I know. But I'm reading that one. It's really good hockey romance. So the male character is a hockey player. The girl is she's a ballet dancer.
Okay. Did you like the meme I sent you? I sent Amanda a video of like
hockey players like stretching their groins.
Oh yeah, they were just like full like Magic Mike on that ring. I was like, this is for Amanda.
I was like, I'm sweating a bit.
Like hiding your phone from Johan.
Yeah, but then I'm reading a indie book called The Last Encore, and it's about a male pianist. Is it male piano player still called a pianist?
I think.
Oh, I didn't know if that was like for a female. I don't know.
I feel like IST is pretty neutral.
Yeah,
like the suffix.
Yeah, but it's about 2 people who were like best friends for a long time when they were younger, and then the guy, he had to get out of town. Like, his mom passed away, and being in the town and the area and stuff was too much for him, so he just like left, and like so his friends felt deserted, and then he like all of a sudden shows up, and he's like this amazing pianist, and he goes to this gala, and he dedicates this song to the girl that was his best friend, and she's sitting in the crowd, and then they're reconnecting.
Did she know that she was going to see his performance? And he didn't know that she was going to be there?
Right. Yeah, and it's been like 10 years since they've seen each other.
I aspire to be a pianist. Like, I just feel like that's such a beautiful instrument to play.
I started taking piano lessons right before COVID hit.
Are your fingers big enough? Do you have to have like long fingers?
I don't know. I
always just feel like I'm like instrumentally challenged of any instruments because I wear children's gloves. Oh, I just don't feel like I have like a long enough stretch.
I don't know. I know for guitar because I was trying to learn guitar for a while, and I did have a hard time with guitar.
Yeah, I think that I definitely couldn't.
Yeah, because now I'm self-conscious with my hand.
No, don't, because I get a great deal on gloves. Children's gloves come in packs for way cheaper than a single pair of adult gloves. Yeah. I only buy children's gloves. They're always on sale.
That's hilarious.
Always. I have little tiny fingers, and I'm okay with that.
Just the silver lining.
It's a silver lining.
Gloves. I like having smaller feet.
See, I don't get that. Shoes. Yeah, fuck you.
I mean, I don't have small feet. I'm at the very top of like kid sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very average. I wear 8.5.
See, I'm like a 7.5, 8. So I'm like at the very top.
We could almost share shoes.
Almost. Yeah. But
right.
anyways, we can get to that.
So this month,
do you have questions, right?
Huh?
Do you have questions?
I have questions. Yeah. There's like so many good questions. So like I have this book, the book club journal.
Sophie.
Did she drink out of your water?
No, but I was petting her and all of her dog hair is in my water. That's okay. Keep going.
She has
it's just a little Sophie love.
Just a little Sophie love. So I talked about this book on the podcast before. It's the book club journal. I don't use it for what it's intended for, which is documenting the books that you read. But there's a lot of book recommendations in the back, and there's also some sample questions. And so I like to pull some of our questions from this book. And most of the books that we read, I tend to pull kind of similar questions. And with this book, I was able to pull different questions. Yeah, and not use some of the ones that we typically do because it was just a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, you know what's nice is you've fallen into the role of picking the questions for the book.
I love it.
I'm glad I don't do
that. No, I love it. I'm happy with that role.
I do the editing, you pick out the questions.
Exactly. So June's book, which we're a little late because what we mentioned before, was Donna Tartt's The Secret History. It's about a poor kid who goes to the East Coast to join a new college. And
Hampton, right?
Hampton. And he ends up joining the major of ancient Greek. And it's a really small group of only 4 other people, or is it 5 other people? 5. Is it?
It's 5 people total.
Well, Richard, Henry. Well, Richard is the 5th.
Yeah.
Henry, the twins, and Francis, and Bunny. So yeah, there's 5 others. And then he's the 6th, which is like already an exception. Anyways, this is a group of like outcast people. And it makes sense why. So as time goes on, they're just like doing some like weird spiritual stuff. And it ends up leading to a murder, which ends up leading to another murder inside the group. And then it ends up with a suicide and from someone in the group as well. So yeah, I feel like that's a pretty generalized description of the book.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that and then we can do our 1 sentence summaries at the end?
No, let's just go into the questions.
All right. Questions. Let's see here. So my first question is question numero 4. Do you think the title fits the book?
Yeah.
I don't. Tell me why you think it does.
I think it's like the history of the friend group, and it's their whole friend group is a giant secret. Like their professor is secretive, their classes are secretive, their friendships, their own personal relationships is a secret, and like their own personal history. Like everyone's kind of hiding their backgrounds.
Yeah, that's true, because even Richard never comes out about how he's actually from no money.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, no.
No, okay, that's fair. When I was like reading Secret History, I was thinking of more like the subject history.
Oh.
And like what they were like studying and uncovering the history of something. Yeah. But what you just said just changed my mind. I'm satisfied with that answer. Okay. Which character changed the most throughout the course of the story?
I think that Henry definitely was changed. And then who is not Richard, not Julian. Francis.
Yeah.
Was Francis the twin?
No, that's Charles.
Okay, so see, through this whole book, I've gotten it mixed up, and it's because I listened to it, and it's harder for me to follow when I listen to it. But the one who at the end
like went crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same answer of Henry and Charles, because Henry, I would like, when I was thinking about my answer to this, I don't feel like Henry changed throughout the book. I think his character was like pretty set in stone from the get-go, but we just got more development.
Yeah.
I think Charles changed.
100%. Like everything that happened in the book had such a negative impact on him. By the end, it makes sense that he went crazy.
Yeah.
And
even like at the end, like, did you listen to the epilogue?
No. So I finished, I know But if I would have been sitting in the car for another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because it was a 20 minutes.
So
even at 2 point whatever speed it was.
Okay. So in the epilogue, pretty much what ends up with Charles is that he gets together with someone who's married and they're like living somewhere in Texas and he's washing dishes. So like his story completely fucking changed. Even though like apparently the twins never had money to begin with. They never got any money.
For those of you guys, we said this is spoiler filled, but to like a little bit of more background on the ending, these kids like go through this huge thing and they end up, there's a farmer who gets murdered.
Yeah, and that's how it like begins.
Yeah, the craziness. And Henry kills this farmer.
Richard and Camilla don't, but they all kind of. I think Henry starts the murder, but then they all are like.
Yeah, and then, so then it comes out about this murder. Bunny, this character named Bunny, he is really like. He kind of starts piecing together that like they must have been the ones to murder this farmer because he found like they were in the same area at the night of the murder. They said they hit a deer and was covered in blood when they went to Bunny. And then Bunny was like, wait, that's kind of weird. This guy died right at the same place where you guys were. And you said you, anyways. So he started piecing it together. Well, then he was using this murder to basically blackmail them to get them to spend their money on him, take him on these lavish trips, buy all his drinks and food. And he was just like manipulating them the whole time because he had this to hold over them. So they kill Bunny. They push him off a cliff. And then
they, as in mostly Henry.
Mostly Henry, yeah.
Everyone was compliant, though.
Yeah, everybody was there when it happened. Everybody knew it was going to happen, and they all were helping cover it up. So then there's a big chunk of the book where the whole town is trying to find Bunny, and then it goes through the funeral, all this stuff. And then at the end of the book, when we keep mentioning Charles who goes crazy, Charles busts into this house with a gun, and there's a scuffle, ends up shooting Richard.
Yeah, as Henry's trying to get the gun away. Yeah.
And then the tenant shows up, and then Henry grabs the gun and is like, answer the door. As the tenants come in, the tenants think Henry's going to kill them, and he shoots himself and kills himself instead.
And I think what the like, probably what was like the, what's that saying? The whatchamacallit on the camel's back.
Oh, the straw that
broke the camel's back. I know that. Was because Charles and Camilla are twins.
Yeah.
But they have a sexual relationship.
Yeah, very incestual.
Which, like, I kind of was like, Bunny called it. So, like, that was one of the reasons why I think Charles wanted Bunny dead also. But, like, I remember I was talking to Akio about it.
Bunny's like, you guys live together. That's convenient.
Yeah, like, that's weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember talking to Akio because he had already finished the book, and I was like, well, here's my thoughts. I think that a lot of things. I think that, like, Richard is going to end up feeling like he made a mistake with like going along with it. It's like these people are fucking crazy. And I was like, and I also think that the twins are like sleeping with each other.
Yeah, and Richard liked Camilla.
Richard loved Camilla.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of loved Camilla. Like everyone seemed to love her. And which is funny because I kind of thought that Francis and her were together at the beginning of the book because they would go to dinner and stuff. It wasn't until they like mentioned that Francis was gay. But Akio agreed. He also kind of was like, it did seem like they were together. So
yeah, and then that kiss when
at the funeral when Richard kissed Camilla.
No, when Richard was sitting with Camilla and then her twin comes in and like kisses her and like
on the
very
lips.
Sexual and like
even prior to that when like he didn't know that Richard was there and he walks in and he was like, Camilla, honey.
Yeah.
Like very like pet name.
Domesticated.
Yeah. Sophie, come here. And and then that kiss was just like, what the fuck? And then Camilla like kissing him back. I was like, okay, so there was like no really come here. There was no really coming out about this secret. And then so pretty much Charles was starting to go crazy, but he was aggressive and abusive towards Camilla. Mm-hmm. And so Camilla pretty much like went to safety with Henry. Henry and her loved each other. And so they then had a relationship. Charles found out about it. And so he, on top of like going crazy from all like these murders and stuff, was jealous. He was very possessive over Camilla. And so like seeing Henry and her together and her leaving him and like leaving the house and leaving him alone was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Especially when he was sick in the hospital.
Exactly. And then she didn't want to come see him. So he was jealous and he was like, well, if everyone's dying, the woman I love doesn't want to be with me and wants to be with Henry, then like I'm just going to kill Henry. And so that was like that was what was like fully preceding him showing up to the hotel that she was at.
And he was a drunk too, so he was being really sloppy about it.
Yeah. So sloppy about it. So then the tenant came in and the like landlord people came in, and that's when Francis kissed Camilla, said I love you, and then shot himself.
Henry killed himself.
Did I say Richard?
You said Francis.
Damn.
Yeah, Henry killed himself.
Henry killed himself.
I'm like confused. Like, why did he kill himself? Like,
I will tell you why.
Does it say in that blog?
I'm wondering.
That's the only thing that I'm just like.
Yeah, so it was.
Is there a letter or something? Or
there wasn't a letter, but it was something translated from
Greek.
Yeah, and maybe it was in the epilogue. It was something that it was in one of the lessons that they had gotten from Julian. So I'll read this sentence. This was in the epilogue. So it says, I'll just read this paragraph. This is in the epilogue. Henry died, of course, with 2 bullets to the head. I don't suppose he could have done much else. Still, he lived more than 12 hours, a feat which amazed the doctors. I was under sedation. This is what they tell me. Such grave wounds, they said, would have killed most people instantly. I wonder if that means he didn't want to die. And if so, why did he shoot himself in the first place? As bad as it looked there in the Albemarle, that was the name of the hotel, Albemarle, I still think we could have patched it up somehow. It wasn't from desperation that he did it, nor, I think, was it fear. The business with Julian was heavy on his mind. It had impressed him deeply. I think he felt the need to make a noble gesture, something to prove to us and to himself that it was, in fact, to put those high, cold principles which Julian had taught us to use. Duty, not pity, it's like piety. Duty, piety, loyalty, sacrifice. So I think it was out of like loyalty that he sacrificed himself. And so by him doing that, it would like not put anybody else in the hot seat for Bunny's murder, the other guy's murder, or for the shots that went off in there. So he was like, I'm just going to end it now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. And that was like a nice summary, in my opinion, to why he did kill himself.
Yeah. Plus, like, all these kids were just carrying so much on their shoulders. With all this. I mean, granted, the rest of them are going to be carrying it still for the rest of their lives.
But. Well, and I don't know if it said in here, but Francis tried killing himself. He wrote a letter to Richard that was like, maybe I'll see you in another lifetime. And then pretty much he was in the hospital. He had 2 like deep splits in his wrist, but he didn't die. And he ended up marrying a woman because his grandfather found out that he was gay. And so now he's living with a woman. Camilla won't marry Richard because she's still so in love with Henry. So she's just like living by herself. And Richard ended up getting together with Sophie, which is the girl from in the middle of the book randomly. Yeah. They broke up. He's in graduate school in California for ancient Greek.
You know, I wonder, like, a lot of this stuff, I'm like, how often does this shit happen in real life? Like, how many people are out there that know about a murder, have murdered someone, and is just living a normal ass life, and we just don't know about it?
Probably a lot. Like, if you look at worldwide and not even just in our country, a ton.
Yeah.
Because there's still, like, just, like, undeveloped areas fully that, like, don't have the resources we have. Here, it might not happen as much because, like, we're a little bit better at these things.
Yeah.
But... yeah.
This whole book reminds me of Dead Poets Society mixed with Lord of the Flies.
I get Lord of the Flies vibe of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally. Like just crazy kids like left to deal with heavy shit and it just eats them away and drives them mad.
Yeah.
And then Dead Poet Society is obviously a dark academia vibe where at the end of the book the person kills themselves and stuff. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Are there loose ends that you wish were tied up? This might be a little bit harder for you because you didn't read the epilogue. But I kind of just gave you the gist of how that ended.
Yeah.
Do you have any loose ends? Sophie.
Shh. Then no. I didn't other than like not knowing why Henry killed himself, I didn't leave the book with very many questions. I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I am curious. I mean, I guess I'm not. I was wondering like why Julian didn't when he found the letter with like the letterhead.
Yeah.
But I think it's because he knew about like them trying to do that ceremony or that like ritual thing, which ended up killing that one person. That's why Bunny. So it's like I feel like he would have ended up in trouble. And I think that's why he kept it a secret. And I also think that they all live by different morals because they like lived very heavily in an ancient Greek how they would do stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. But I don't really have any like loose ends I want tied up. Like I thought it was a great book. Okay. If the author wrote a sequel, what would you want the sequel to be about? What should who should be the main character in the sequel?
Ooh. I think it'd be interesting to get Bunny's POV.
That'd be cool.
Bunny, I didn't like Bunny as a person because he was very manipulative and he just wasn't a good person. He was just taking everybody's money, getting handouts left and right. And the fact that his parents were oddballs too, but they were like obviously going in massive debt to put these kids through school. And it seems like there's no like appreciation there. Just very, what's that word? Pretentious.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really interesting to see his point of view before he dies. You know, and like
that would have been cool to throw a few chapters in of like just Bunny's POV.
Yeah.
So I feel like he died pretty early on in the book.
Right, and you knew from the very beginning that Bunny dies.
Right. It's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, from the very beginning.
Which, like the first couple hundred pages, I was like so curious how that was going to happen.
I know, and yeah.
One thing I was feeling when I was reading this book, really, especially in the last like third of the book, was this would be a great series, like a 3 to 4 season series.
Oh, like a TV show?
Yes. Yeah. Like the first season ending at them murdering the farmer. Mm-hmm. Because in like I just think like season finale, boom, what happens after that? The second season would end with Bunny being murdered. Mm-hmm. The third, it could be the final season, or it could go into the fourth.
I would say 3 seasons.
If it was 3 seasons, then it would go through, Henry would kill himself, and then the epilogue of it would be in the last episode. Or the third season would end with Henry killing himself, and then there would be like a longer finale season. But that's when like all series kind of fall off, is that last season. But I think a 3-season series would be so dope of this. I think they could do a really good job, and you woun't need that much of a budget either, because it would. I
think they could do a good movie with it too, though.
I was thinking that, but I think that a lot of like little things felt important in this book, just like the daily lifestyles that they're going through, and it was a long book.
I think they could do like a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
Like movies are supposed to be long. I saw somebody talking about how TikTok and short form content has ruined people's ability to like pay attention in movies, retention and stuff like that. And I totally agree, because movies are meant to be long.
I know there's like some movies that are like an hour long, and I'm like, that's not long enough. Like I watch shows longer than that.
Yeah, movies should be 2 hours long, 2.5, in my opinion. So I think it would make a great longer movie.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I wonder, it's so popular, I bet it will get turned into something.
You'd think so. I see it everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I see this book all over. It's been on my TBR for a while.
I know. You finally read it.
I know.
Does the writing style enhance or detract from the reading experience? I think it enhanced it.
it enhanced it in ways for me, but when I was reading it physically, it was really hard.
It was hard, yeah. It was hard in the sense that it took a while. I loved reading Henry's dialogue. I felt like, I felt just like evil.
Yeah, I liked Henry. Yeah, and he definitely was a good villain, because I feel like if Henry didn't kill himself, he would have become like a serial killer.
Yeah, because he even said that like something
it
came
made him feel powerful.
And
I think I was like,
he's that's a sociopath.
Definitely how people become serial killers.
Oh, absolutely, because he seemed no remorse from. It was kind of weird how
the fact that he was a pallbearer at Bunny's funeral, and he was the one who pushed Bunny down the hill,
and how he was like doing everything. It's like, I wonder if he was doing that out of guilt or out of like just trying to cover up his ass.
Yeah, I think covering his ass.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one looked into that a little bit.
Well, they almost got caught by the FBI.
Kinda. But then they weren't the FBI, turns out, wasn't even able to whatchamacallit, do anything about it. Like, it wasn't in their jurisdiction. They were just there because that guy was trying to claim the money.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So did you like the book or didn't like the book?
No, I liked it. I thought it was really good.
Because I have a question, like, if you didn't like the book but finished it, why? So I put a question mark next to that one because I was like, I wonder if Amanda likes it or not.
I liked it. I was going to DNF. Because I just like being sick, and
it was a horrible time for this book.
Yeah, it was just not a good month. It was a really busy month, and then being sick took me out for over a week, and so I almost DNF'd. And then I texted her, Danielle, like 2 days ago, and I was like, I'm just gonna Google the end of the book and we can talk about it, which I did before you responded. I Googled it, but the thing I read on Google was actually slightly wrong, so the ending was still a little.
What did it say?
From what I saw, it made it seem like Henry got shot in the stomach and died from those injuries. It didn't say anything about Henry committing suicide.
Oh, okay.
So when he shot himself, I was like, oh shit.
I thought that was a good ending. I was shocked by it, but I thought it was like a good ending to the book.
Yeah, I would rate this book probably like a 4-star.
I was thinking 4.5 because I did really like it.
Yeah,
I don't really have, now I'm just like self-conscious about wanting to give something a 5-star.
I probably would have given this like a 4.5 if I would have read it physically.
Yeah.
Ebooks or audiobooks take away from the experience a lot for me, because I do miss a lot. Like I bet I missed important.
Well, especially with the dialogue, it's nice to like have your own dialogue in your head of what it's saying instead of like, I feel like trying to hear someone else's, because that helped me characterize everyone a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay. Was the plot development linear or fragmented?
I would say linear.
I would say pretty linear.
There were a couple times where it would go back and
it wasn't like this, but it was like this. It was like very mountainous, like we'd go up and then we like.
Yeah.
That's why it was like a 3-season like series would be good, because it was like boom.
There were things that weren't linear at all. Like when it ended with Bunny dying, they didn't, in that moment, they didn't say how it happened.
No.
And then it went through all this stuff, and then it was like,
yes.
Oh, like, and then it explained not even that much.
No, they didn't. They didn't. But I kind of feel like it was ingenious how she did it, though, because it was like you knew but you didn't. So you're like, okay, but what the fuck
knew it
happened?
Yeah. And then but later you kind of like get the little glimpses of okay, Henry pushed him, and then Camilla went down to check that he was dead, and then
I was confused about that, because it was like a 26-foot thing. Was it just like an easy hike down, or like?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was interesting how like this, it just happened to snow.
And you know what's crazy? I know. You know what's crazy is Bunny would go on this walk every day. Mm-hmm. So when people were looking for him for so long, they looked for him, and nobody said, hey, Bunny goes on this walk every day.
I was thinking about that, because like if the friend group would have mentioned it and they found him, then they'd make them look guilty. Yeah. But it's like they're just like walking aimlessly. Like, why is nobody asking them? Like, well, where did Bunny like to walk often?
Right. But like I also thought about it, like if the friends would have said, hey, like, we don't know where he is, but this is his schedule, this is what he did, I don't think it would make them look guilty. In my head, it'd be like, okay, like his friends provided the information that friends would provide.
Yeah.
Instead of them, I think it was more suspicious that they didn't give any of Bunny's like.
Well, he was supposed to. The last person that saw him was Marion, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't question her a little bit more. She ended up marrying his brother, Bunny's brother, and they had a baby together. And the baby's nickname is Bunny.
Whoa! One of the things that I thought was smart is they said. Henry and them told Richard to stay close to home. Like, don't leave it. Like, after the night that it happened, like, don't go anywhere. Don't hang out with us. Just stay where you are. He went to the party. And that was smart because a bunch of people saw him at the party. A bunch of people, like, he even stayed the night with a girl, which, like, caused a ripple effect. So then when people were looking, like, into it, be like, oh, like, you were at this party, like, whatever. Yeah. We saw you. Where everybody else wasn't there.
Yeah. Nobody it was really smart.
Yeah. But he didn't even do it because he was trying to cover his ass. He was just like, I can't sit. He
needs to go somewhere. Yeah. The only thing I was wondering about that alibi was that if they
did a time.
Yeah.
But I think because it snowed, it made it where they couldn't really determine the.
I loved the snow portion of this because it really added that like dramatic time for everyone to just like go mad. You know, love that. Yeah. Okay. Next question. I feel like we kind of already touched on this, but if you have anything else to add. Which events or dialogues serve as a turning point in the story? So I'd say each murder and then kind of Charles, like Camilla leaving Charles for Henry was like one of the main.
Yeah.
Oh, in Rome when Henry was sick, and that's when Bunny found his diary. That was
a big one.
Yeah, that was because that's what like Bunny already kind of knew, but then Bunny was like.
And that was another thing too, is everybody kind of just thought Bunny was too dumb. But he wrote in that diary in a certain dialect, I can't remember what he said, but Bunny had to translate it, and they didn't think Bunny was smart enough to do that stuff, and he was. And then he was able to read the diary.
Even like
they underestimated Bunny a lot.
Even Julian saying, I don't think he knows how to use a typewriter. But then like Henry or Richard and Francis knew that he did know how. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add on that one? That's like not even half the questions yet.
We'll just do like 2 more. Do you want to do 2 more? Because we're almost at 40 minutes.
We'll just go fast through some of them because there's some good questions to talk about. Yeah. Was the dialogue realistic and well developed?
Yeah,
I would say yeah. I only put that question because I knew we were going to say yeah, and I was like, then we can move on. So. Did the book match your expectations? I'm really curious about this for you because you're the one that had it on your TBR.
Yes, yeah, but this was my first dark academia that I read, and I don't know if I'm a dark academia girly. Like, I feel like I'll read another one because I want to read
the other one that we were going to choose
or something. I can't remember what it's called. That one, but I don't know. Like, there's so much of it that was over my head.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be heavy, though. I knew it was going to be.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be. So it was different than my expectations for the better. Because based on the back, when it's talking about stuff, I think it talked about like evil and stuff like that.
You thought it'd be more creepy.
I thought it'd be more like psychologically fucked up, where I would be like kind of feeling a little, you know.
Lord of the Flies is psychologically fucked up like that.
But this one, I felt like I didn't feel like this like took, like I didn't take this on my own feelings, where I thought this book would like kind of make me just feel like a dark cloud was over. This I could very much separate, like I'm reading a good book about like some crazy fucking people.
Yeah.
So other than that, I didn't really have any expectations other than I was scared that it was going to mess me up a little bit, and it didn't.
No.
I really liked this book.
Yeah, I think the murders weren't focused on to the point where they were enough to like really mess you up.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, I agree.
They were very like murders happened, but it wasn't what the book was about. It was, but like you were more focused on the effects of the murder on the main characters.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
That's a good point. What is the most important relationship in the book? We can just keep it between like 2 names, and I'm curious if we feel the same.
That's hard for me anyways, because like I said, there's stuff that I know I missed throughout the book, but I would probably say it would be between Henry and what's the twin guy?
Charles.
Or between Richard and Charles.
Interesting.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I think Henry and Bunny. I think this whole book revolves around Henry and Bunny's relationship.
Yeah. That's
even
true.
down to like post Bunny's death.
Right.
Just like his relationship with him still kind of held strong. That's why he was like able to navigate through like the parents and
yeah, that's true.
And like what got them into the mess because they were roommates.
Yeah,
that's kind of how
before.
Yeah, when they like first got to school. So I think like this whole thing kind of only even really happened because they were roommates. Yeah, I just feel like they're like the backbones of this whole story, even though it was in Richard's POV.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, we have like 6 more. Okay. Are you interested in reading other books by this author?
Yeah, I don't know if she written anything else.
Well, my cashier at Powell's said that she's reading more of her books because of this. I'd be interested to see what other books she has if she sticks to this genre. But I thought that like
the Goldfinch. I've heard of that one. Okay.
I feel like she was very intricate, and very detailed with how she wrote everything. Even just adding in little like remarks of like from Richard's POV, I just thought was really good. Like I would definitely read more stuff from her.
Yeah, I think she's great. She's an amazing author. She's probably one of the best.
Yeah, she was great. It was very thorough, especially with that many POVs. Or that many like people, but like one POV, you know?
I'll open up the audiobook and have you listen to Bunny's voice. Oh, gal. It's very like...
Was it the same person narrating?
I'm bored stiff. Walk down to the party to get a brewski. Like, it's very much like that. See you later, baby.
That's funny.
Meh, she. That's very funny.
So every time he talked, like, that's how
it's like, meh. How you doing, you old pal?
I can see that. Hey, old man. Okay. Were there any noticeable holes or inconsistencies in the plot or in the world building? I would say no.
No, she did such a good job.
Okay, yes, there is one.
Really?
In the very beginning, when Richard gets money to drive to Hampton, it's from a teacher that lives in Hampton. And I thought that it was a professor that he had in California, in Plano. That I'm confused about still. I think it's just because it's the beginning of the book and like a lot of things.
Is that the same teacher that gave him money the second time when he thought it was car trouble?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah, because I thought it was like to get him to
he got
the
him to
school
Hampton too.
Yeah, but I thought it was like from Plano, but I guess it's not. So like I would go back and maybe reread the beginning of the book. Okay. What about you? Do you think there's anything?
No, I think she did great.
Is there anything you still feel confused about? No, it's kind of the same question. Would you read this book again? What would you want to revisit?
I think I would read it again. It'll have to be a while, but I want to read it physically because I know even like when I was binding books and I was listening, I would notice that I like zoned out and I'm like, wait, what the heck did I just listen to? But I think it's one of those where I could probably go in and annotate like crazy. I think it's really good.
Yeah. I'd read it again too, and I would be okay with just like rereading the beginning of the book again, like maybe the first third of it, and then I would see if I need to read the last because I'd
be curious to read book 2 again.
Book 2 again? Mm-hmm. Yeah, book 2, good shit in there, man.
Yeah.
Okay, 47 is the question. If you could change one thing about this book, what would it be? I would change the font size and the spacing.
For real, bigger font. But story-wise, I don't know. I think it's weird. I really think she just did an amazing job, and I don't really have anything negative to say about the book.
No, I loved it.
This is great. Yeah. Like I said, if I read it physically. Also, the flop.
Yes.
It's so
absolutely good. I could just lay it down even when there wasn't that much on one side. It was
You know what amazing. I learned about the flop is It's all about the paper and if it's long grain or short grain. So, and you take a piece of paper, like this is short grain.
So short grain is
like
better?
So the grain is running this way on this paper. If it's running this way, then it's not going to be able to be as floppy.
Oh, good.
So if it's high quality paper, it's floppy.
Love it. Worth the $18 I spent on that book. Were there any parts of the book that made you uncomfortable or struck you as inappropriate?
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Specifically, I wasn't like triggered or offended, but like
we should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this though, just because we're talking about
like suicide.
Yeah. Okay, you know what I didn't like was towards the end of the book. I'm gonna say the R word right now. Richard was like, well, I have this sudden urge to like pull Camila down and like hold her and rape her.
Yeah.
Like I kind of thought that was out of nowhere.
I was putting makeup on to come here and I was like, what the heck did I just read? That's so out of character for Richard.
Well, in the epilogue, him and Sophie broke up because she was like, he woke up with like she didn't like the way that he looked at her in the morning, and he just like thought about like just dark shit.
That's why I think that all these people in this book are the making of serial killers.
Yeah.
Because they're all so fucked up.
Yeah.
But that line was so out of pocket. I was like, what?
Even when he was like in the basement at Bunny's parents' house, and I think it was him, but he was like, oh, I just want to like shoot myself.
Yeah.
Like he started to turn dark there, but it's so interesting because like he stayed so composed when he's like in his retelling, you know? But
I think that now weird. That Henry died and stuff, I think that like hopefully his psyche like balances out and stuff, because I really do feel like that group of friends was just up. It's not.
They're all going to end up probably killing themselves.
Or doing something that gets them in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Do you want to try to do a 1-sentence summary of the book, or do you think it's possible?
No, I don't think it is, but I will say it's I'll reiterate that it's so much like Lord of the Flies set in an academic setting.
Yeah, a more civilized setting.
Yeah, more civilized and just intelligent setting, because it's wild. Like it's very much just kids going crazy.
Yeah.
And picking one another off.
It was crazy. What was crazy also is that I felt like it was like the way that they all talked and composed themselves seemed very like older, as in like years and years and years ago. But they were talking.
It was like 19.
No, they were talking about like Audrey Hepburn and stuff.
Yeah, and they did say George Orwell.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? He's an author.
Yeah, he's in there. Like it was very much like more present time that this book was written in, but they made it seem like it was like the 40s.
And the way Bunny talks sounds like 1920s.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, but I was thinking maybe that's just because they're in New England and it's just like older over there. Yeah. People care. I'm very interested about being on the East Coast and I'm old city because maybe there's
about
more.
You today being over there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's close, dude.
I know.
It's really close.
Like a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, a month and a half. Yeah. So we already said our ratings, but I would say 4.5.
Yeah, I would say about 4.
Yeah. 4.5. Yeah. Overall, I'd bookshelved the book.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll keep it.
Yeah, I love that book has water damage, fire damage.
I know.
Is rubbed raw from me taking it everywhere. Yeah. My coworker has been talking to everybody about this book. Yeah. I've been recommending it to so many people because it's just like it's a good book. Yeah. Like even
it gets you thinking. It freaking it's so different than what you see everybody reading nowadays. Not nowadays, but like right now, like everybody's into like fantasy, ACOTAR stuff, and romance.
Yeah.
So to see a book like this is just like unique.
I feel like it doesn't matter what genre you typically read, you will be fascinated. Yeah. It might take a little bit. Like it definitely took me longer than I would have liked, but it had nothing to do with the book itself. It had to do with life. Yeah. Just me being busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. Yeah. So that was June's book of the month. Yeah. If you listen to this just to listen to it and you haven't read it yet, like please do yourself the honor of reading this book. Yeah, it was just
good one.
Absolutely amazing. I get why it's an international bestseller.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's for that book.
This month's book is going to be Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez.
I was talking to my coworkers about this book today. They've both heard of it.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really excited about this book. It's another long one too. I actually don't know what it's about even in the slightest. It's 400 pages, which you know what's crazy? This is 400 pages. This is 560 pages.
But feel how thin that paper is. This paper is so much thicker. And it's stiffer too.
That's true. And there's more spacing.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't really matter for page wise. But yeah, I just like when I looked at this book, I was like, no way is this book almost 600 pages and not one that's 400. But do you want to read it? That's about? Because I don't even know what it's about. What is it called?
Yeah. Just for the summer. I've been seeing this everywhere, and I haven't heard a single bad thing about it. Yeah, it should just come out. 4 dates, a kiss, and a breakup. That's all it will take to find their soulmate. When it comes to love, Emma is cursed. Every guy she dates finds his true love after they break up. But it turns out she's not the only one afflicted with this condition. His name is Justin, and his Reddit thread about being love's good luck charm has gone viral. Now the two have come up with an ingenious plan. If they date each other, their curses will cancel out and they'll go on to find their soulmate. Only Justin wasn't supposed to be so unbelievably cute and hilarious. But when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings. Has fate finally brought the perfect pair together, or will their cure be way more hazardous than the curse itself?
I feel like I'm going to cry.
I don't know. I don't remember if people cry to this, but I do know that her books, like this sounds very like fluffy romance.
Good. It's got a little whiff when you do that with the book.
It's that perfume that the Valentino one.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yeah. It smells so good.
This sounds like very fluffy romance, but from what I've heard is Abby's writing is way deeper than...
Well, just by saying toxic mother and then having to take on guardianship, like
I bet that's going to have a lot of like,
emotion in it.
I think it would be really good.
Wait, so were they friends at first? They're enemies?
No, she finds them on Reddit.
Okay. So so it's just strangers to lovers.
Strangers, fake dating.
Fake dating. Love that trope.
Yeah.
That's a great, I mean, you can just be guaranteed that's a good trope.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this book. I think it's going to be easy to devour it. We need to start this book today, because we've been off of it.
I know. I know. I'm about 25% through Heartless, and then I'm almost halfway through the last encore, or the final encore, whatever that one's called.
Okay. So this must be long grain.
Yeah. I bet it is.
It's not even about soft cover and hardcover. It's about the freaking grain of the paper.
Yeah.
So this was a longer episode. We're happy to be back at it. We're going to get back to our normal time.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There's still so much.
This one will probably go up on like a Monday or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get better views on a Monday.
We're gonna experiment this week.
But
here's
thank
Sophie,
you guys so much.
Come here, Sophie. We're gonna show Sophie. Now it's the end. Come on.
Hi, Sophie. Love.
Come on, you want to come up here? Come here. This is Sophie. Sophie, who is that? Who is that? Oh,
I don't know.
She's like, Dad's at the door.
But thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the book as much as we did.
Yes. Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week.
Signing off.
Bye.